Most people using OpenClaw right now are probably getting 20% of what it can actually do for them. I've been seeing Reddit posts, tweets about how dumb people think their OpenClaw is and how it's useless to them and they don't understand the hype. And I know why. It's because they set it up, they followed a tutorial, but they never learned just like the very basics of how it works under the hood. So I'm just going to show you a few simple concepts in this video that will help you understand, and it'll make your OpenClaw a lot more efficient. It'll save tokens, it'll remember how to do the things that you do a lot. And this is mainly about its system files and skills. You need to know about these things if you want to get the most out of it. So let's get into it. So if there's only two things you learn about how OpenClaw works, it would be the system files and skills. So system files are what it reads every single time you send it a prompt, which is what allows it to be so personalized to you and your use cases. So you have 5 system files here. You can see you have agents, soul, tools, heartbeat, and memory. So if you had no idea about how OpenClaw works, you've probably just been messaging it like crazy, and all of these system files are going to be totally bloated with outdated info and full of stale information that's just making it dumber, essentially, and wasting tokens. So I have one prompt that I'm going to put in the description that can help you audit the system files and make it go over everything and determine what needs to be cut out and what can be turned into skills. So before you do this prompt, it's going to be totally bloated. It's going to be using a ton of tokens on every single prompt. But after you use it, it's going to trim all of that down and only keep what's important and save the more specific tasks into skills. So it's actually smarter now because it has these skills saved and it's only using these skills when it needs it. Instead of loading specific task information into every single message, it's only going to use that specific task information, which is a skill, when you're actually doing that thing. So here's the prompt. I just did it last night because I literally used OpenClaw for like 12 hours yesterday. I had a feeling that it was burning way too much than it should be, and that there's probably some outdated info in there in these system files. So here's the prompt. I'll put it in the description. Tells it to audit all of its main system files. What's in here that should be a skill instead of always loaded context, what's outdated or redundant, and what's too verbose and could be said in less words. So here it gave me all the stuff in my system files that it could be skills and what's redundant, what could be said in less words. I reviewed it all. I was happy with what it was proposing that we trim out of it. So I told it to cut it all out, develop a skill for things that need to be skills and delete the outdated stuff, tighten anything that's verbose. And here's the results of that. So it said this file went down all the way from 313 lines down to 44 lines. So that's always loaded context. Every single time it's loading 313 lines, and now it's only loading 44 lines. And same thing with all these. A total of 69% reduction in tokens per message, and it saved all of that extra stuff into skills and long-term memory and build logs so that it can still use all that information, but only when it needs it. Then I asked it, so are you stupid now, or are you still good? Because I was a little bit concerned after I did this, to be honest, because it cut so much. But it said, nah, I'm good. I have all the detailed knowledge in my skills, my daily memory files, build logs. I just stopped loading a whole novel into my brain every single message. So that just goes to show you the power of this one single prompt that can optimize the entire system and instantly make your guys smarter and handle its context and its tokens a lot better, save you money, and get you better output. Okay, now that we've covered auditing your system files, now we got to talk a little bit about skills and what they are and how you can develop your own, and why developing your own actually is so much better than taking some third-party skills from online. So all a skill really is a markdown file, which is just writing. It's just instructions on how to do something. And when you tell your agent to do something that you've done before, it's going to look through its skills to see if there's any that it has that applies to that thing. So the first thing you got to know is anytime you're doing a specific task that you know you're going to be doing a lot, or having your agent do proactively a lot, you're definitely going to want to tell it to develop a skill for what we just did. So for example, I had my agent make me YouTube thumbnails. I told it the specific dimensions it has to be, what should go on these thumbnails depending on what the video is about, what kind of expression of my cutout of my face should be on there, and I told it to save all that to a skill. And then I tell it to make the thumbnail, and it will automatically use those instructions and it will send it back to me. And then here's the most important part about skills is when it sends you back the output of that task you're doing, you have to give it super solid feedback, whether it did a good job, bad job, what could be better. Get as specific as you possibly can about how you want the output to be, and then tell it to update its skill based on your output. And this is the feedback loop that actually makes your OpenClaw smarter and smarter and smarter, because it learns your preferences based on your feedback. And if you don't tell it to update the skill, it can sometimes forget to do that. So it's actually just better when you're giving it that feedback to say, update the skill for the thing that we just did based on my feedback. Now, if you're on Telegram, you can actually see all your skills. If you click on the menu button here, you scroll down, see most of these are all my custom skills. There's like 3 or 4 that I downloaded from third party, and I made sure I vetted them myself. I read them myself to make sure there's no malware in them. You want to be very careful with third-party skills and make sure you are actually reading it to make sure that there's no malware in this skill. Honestly, I would just completely veer away from any third-party skills. You should just develop all your own. It's very simple. All you do is tell your agent, develop a skill for what you just did, or describe a task, tell it to flesh out that idea and agree on how you should do that task, and then say, okay, build a skill for this task, because we're going to be doing it a lot. And then once you do that task, you give it feedback and tell it to update the skill. And now next time it does that task, it already knows your feedback and it's going to do it a lot better. You compound that over time, you go through that feedback loop, do that task 3, 4, 5 times, it's going to get so much better every single time. So there's 3 things you got to do. You want to audit your system files, see if there's anything that's outdated, anything that can be turned into skills. And the second thing is develop skills for everything that you do often with OpenClaw. And the third thing is give it feedback every time it's doing those skills. And this is the whole framework for making your OpenClaw way smarter over time. So I don't want to hear anybody complaining about, my OpenClaw is so stupid, blah, blah, blah. It's a skill issue. Literally. Okay, so now let's get into how to make it actually proactive and use these skills when you're not even telling it to. So there's 2 things that make your agent proactive, and that's its heartbeat and cron jobs. So by default, the heartbeat goes every 30 minutes, and cron jobs are just set time intervals that you tell it to do certain things. For example, give me a morning briefing at 9 a.m. When you tell it that, it's going to make a cron job, and every day at 9 a.m. it's going to give you that morning briefing. So for example, you could say, scrape content on Reddit or YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever, every day at 2 a.m. and draft it into a Google Doc in my Google Drive every morning. Now it's going to do this, and you should tell it to make a skill for scraping and writing a LinkedIn post. And then when you receive that draft in your Google Drive in the morning, you would give it feedback on how good it is and tell it to update the skill based on your feedback. And then the next day at 2 a.m. it's going to be an even better draft. Repeat this, and now you have a proactive LinkedIn ghostwriter essentially working for you every day. And you can just stack these on top of each other. So you do a nightly build at 4:30 a.m. Let it choose what it wants to build every day at 4:30 a.m. Daily briefing at 8 a.m. Give it feedback on that daily briefing, say what else it needs to include, and then the next morning it's going to be better. I think you get the idea here. You just make skills for the thing it needs to do, make cron jobs for the things you want it to do on set times every day. Making these is as easy as telling it to make a cron job for X or make a skill for Y. For Heartbeat, it's more things that you want it to check often, things that are often changing, and what you want it to do with that information. Now I just realized I don't have a graphic for the heartbeat and how it makes it proactive. So I just said make a B-roll for talking about the heartbeat and how it makes your OpenClaw proactive. Now I already talked to it, I made a skill for how it should make B-roll, and I give it feedback every single time it makes one of these graphics for me. And if you watch a previous video of mine, you can already tell that these graphics are way better than the first video. So he spawned my sub-agent Stack, he's a coder, and now Stack is building that. So let me just get that up. And this B-roll skill I have is part of a greater skill that's called my YouTube pipeline skill. And the YouTube pipeline goes from idea to script to B-roll to thumbnail to titles and descriptions. And I approve each step of the way, give it feedback every single time, so my YouTube pipeline is getting more and more streamlined to the point where eventually I don't have to plan a single video. Now right now, I'm still the creative. I approve each step so that I can get quality output, but it's getting better every single time. I'm noticing every video I put out that I'm more and more impressed with its output and having to give it less and less feedback because I tell it to update the skill every single time. Alright, so I finished my heartbeat B-roll. Let's see what it did. Dropped it straight in my Google Drive for the video in the specific folder about this specific video. All I gotta do is download and open it up. Alright, pretty decent. I'm definitely gonna give it some feedback on this one and what I don't like, what I do like. So yeah, the heartbeats every 30 minutes, and whatever is in that heartbeat document, which is just some writing, it's just instructions. Maybe you have in there, check my email, or maybe you have, check my calendar, or check my analytics, etc. It's going to check through those and decide if there's anything worth your attention, and it's going to send you a message. So you can say, add to the heartbeat that we need to be monitoring my emails. And for it to actually monitor your emails, you're going to have to give it a read-only API. You could even give it a write API, but I wouldn't recommend that until you've refined it a lot, because that can be a security issue. And then you can take it a step further. Instead of just saying, read my email and tell me if there's anything that needs my attention, you could say, read my email and draft me follow-up emails to send back to them. Or if you're you're comfortable with it, you can even say send the follow-up email, as long as you give it the proper API scopes to be able to do that. And just a bonus tip here, probably my favorite tool to connect OpenClaw to is Google Drive. So you can see I have my TARS Google Drive, and there is a content folder. And the content folder is content for every single platform. And I've set it up to scrape every platform and find the most trending topics, most trending posts. And it will write posts, drafts, every single day proactively at nighttime into each content folder. It knows the path structure of the whole Google Drive folder that I provided to it. So most people's OpenClaws is just saving their drafts and stuff to its actual files in its computer. If you're on a Mac Mini, this is probably alright because you have access to the local files in your Finder, but if you're on a VPS, you don't really have access to those files unless you download something called like File Browser, and that is a security risk because you're connecting to it through an open server, and don't want to get too deep into that. I wouldn't recommend using a file browser and having it send you a link through the VPS because that opens up a lot of security issues. So one final tip I have for you would be to ask it, based on what you know about me, what APIs should we be connecting to? And with those APIs, what are the most amazing use cases we could build out? And then have it guide you through how to get those APIs, how to get them integrated, how to get them secure, and then guide you through the use cases that it gave you for those tools that you're connecting it to. Mine, I gave it my Google Analytics API, my Google Search Console API, my YouTube Analytics API, and every morning it gives me a report based on those things with suggested actions. Like this morning it told me that I should have a page on my site called OpenClaw Book because it has access to my Google Search Console, and it thinks that OpenClaw Book is a good keyword to search for. So I actually just planned out a whole book with it in a few prompts. I did all the planning for it because I've got a lot of materials on how to make OpenClaw effective already. And I said, go build the book page on my website. Now I have the OpenClaw book, everything you need to master your AI agent. And I've already read through this. It's a lot of good stuff that I've been teaching in my videos and in my school group. So if you want to go deeper, you can go to this book page, or you can check out my school group, and my school group is where the true sauce is, so I do recommend checking that out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.